See if you got that. And if you didn't get it, maybe it's because you haven't validated your email address yet. So let's do this.
We are recording and ready to go, buddy.
Welcome. All right. Well, hey, my name is Daryl Smith, Vice President of Joy Rides. And with my buddy today, the president of the company, one of the founders, got this thing going back in the summertime, my buddy, Mr. Brian Lucia. And we're going to have a quick session today. Hopefully keep this, we've been doing this about an hour. I don't think we'll take that long today to go over a lot of aspects of this and the compensation plan and everything else that's under the sun right now. So appreciate everyone jumping on. We're recording it, and we'll get this out to you later today live. So Brian, you want to kick us off?
I will, Daryl. Thanks for getting everything started. Hi, everybody. We're moving and grooving. I actually just got done doing some meetings with some leaders and their prospects this morning. I've got another one at 1:30, another one at 3 o'clock. We are moving. They are exciting times. I just told Daryl, the exciting thing for us, for Daryl and I and the founders of our company is that we have been working, I call it underground, for so long on this venture to keep it, on the down low, keep it secret, that we knew we had a great idea. We knew we have the magic potion, if you will, or the magic pixie dust. But it sure is reaffirming when you're talking to people and you see their eyes light up. And Daryl, I use the example of a cartoon character. When you tell somebody how this business works in a very simple form, that, hey, how would you like to get paid every time a driver drives or a passenger takes a ride? Their eyes kind of bug out of their head like the cartoon characters. And it's fun to watch. It really is. I just got done with a group of people, and it's just 100%. Everyone's excited. They get it. The simplicity of this is good. The complexity is the ones who are real linear thinkers, green personalities who want to know every aspect of the compensation plan. And I just say that, just know that you can get paid. Call it like you say, Daryl. It doesn't matter how much money you have. When you see that eventually that there's cars driving all over your city, your state, the country, and you're getting a portion of that, whether it be 2 cents, 5 cents, 10 cents, a quarter or more, that's a cool thing.
Yeah, it is. And just bringing up this morning, I've got to tell you, this morning I was at a men's Bible study I go to every morning at 6:30, and just sitting around talking to a bunch of guys and like, hey, what do you do? What do you do? And I tell them, hey, this is what it's finally kind of cool because I had my shirt on. They're like, what's that? And so I told them, and every one of them, I think there were 7 guys at our table, every one of them started asking me questions about it. Like, they know anything about it. They know anything about direct sales, and like, we're interested. I mean, that's how that works, because they know Uber and Lyft. And so it is a very simple idea of what we're doing, but it's got some complexity to it from our side. That's our job, is to take care of those complexities and make your life simple on your side. But it is refreshing to talk about this, of what we're doing, how we're doing it. And that's the cool thing about it. So I know what you're talking about. Every time you talk to someone about it, they're interested. They want to hear about it and what goes on. So it's been great so far. I mean, every day I wake up and every day, there's one thing about us, is every day it's going to change and get better and better every single day. What we look like today will not be how we look like tomorrow, and how we look on Monday or next week will not how we look Friday and Saturday. So we're going to continue to develop and change and upgrade and everything else. So that's what's exciting about that this is just the beginning. You are truly at the ground floor at this thing, and we appreciate that. Believe me. You're going to have to go along for the ride here, as we say, but it's going to be fun. So let's get into it, Brian.
Yeah, Daryl, something that you mentioned is, we're getting a lot of great feedback from you, the leaders who are here. And if you look in your dashboard, those of you who've already enrolled, and I know there's a lot of you who are seeing this information for the first time, that somebody invited you here to see who Joy Rides is, right? And you want to learn about it. Many of you have already gotten enrolled as an independent marketing rep. And when you look in your back office, there's a little flag there, a little badge that says you're a Founders Club member. And know that that's a moniker you'll be able to wear well for the long, long time, that you trusted in us to get started at the beginning, and we'll help build this company. And we're getting your feedback. And as Daryl said, ever changing and tweaking. I just had a great meeting with a group of people. There were some people that were already ready. They're already reps, prospective reps, and a handful of drivers there learning about this, that their minds were blown, and they had great ideas. And some of the stuff we already have in play for our drivers app and things that they're looking for. So we love your feedback, is what Daryl was saying. Daryl, I'm going to just kind of roll through this. And I always have an issue with this first slide, I think, because it is a video. It's getting that going. Let me see here.
Yeah, you got to escape and go out.
Yeah, it's trying to. So I'll just start with that one. All right. So Daryl and I gave you our names and who we are, and we want to thank you guys for joining us. Daryl, I think that for people maybe seeing this for the first time, they've taken an Uber, taken a Lyft, but they may not know the magnitude or the size of the rideshare industry, where it is today, and more importantly, where it's headed. I was naive to this, that, there's roughly 60 million rides per month. That's in the United States. That's actually just in our country. These companies are huge. Lyft is primarily in the US and Canada, where if you look at that fourth bullet, Uber is now in 80 countries, 600 cities. So they've paved the way. We're not reinventing the wheel. We just want to make it better, right? We want to really make this about the people, the drivers and the passengers, and certainly our marketing reps. But as you look at understanding, we talked about being a Founders Club member and being on the ground floor of something. Look at the growth potential here, the projections that are being made, that $70 billion industry here, and this last year, and projected in just a few short years to be $220 billion. That tells you that you're at the beginning of really what's a paradigm shift and a way of life that just talking to some people today about, how many people are using rideshare on their daily travels. And the neat thing for what we're all about, and Daryl, I'll let you touch on this. You've had, my goodness, 20 plus years of direct selling, network marketing experience, that everything is always based on the relationship. And this is how most people started the first time they ever took a rideshare, which, our parents told us not to hitchhike, and people are getting strangers' cars.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of interesting with this one. I mean, direct sales is what it's always been referred to a friend, but the industry itself, even the incumbents, I guess, if you will, like Uber and Lyft, they did it through referral of a friend. You don't see a lot of advertising when this thing started. It was truly a grassroots movement, and we'll be the same way. I know someone asked this last week, like, when are you gonna be nationwide? Like, someday, but someday it's gonna take some time. Yeah, Tuesdays, I always say Tuesday. Like, what's Tuesday? But it's gonna take some time. We'll get there, but that's how they started. That's how we'll start as well. We'll move as fast as we possibly can, but it's refer of a friend. That's how this thing works. It's a friend telling a friend, like, well, what's Joyrides? Here's what it is. Here's what we're about. Here's what we do. And also because your friend and family, that relationship is an important aspect of this, that it's someone, and a lot of times I go things because it's refer of a friend. I go to restaurants, I go to movies. Everything I do is based on a referral of a friend. I'll always try things and do things because a friend, a family member, something like that told me about it. And that's the same thing we're leveraging here.
Yeah. And, I think the first question people ask is, well, how does it work? And my usual first response is, well, don't overthink it. And if you ever taken an Uber or Lyft, it's like that. You have an app, you want to take a ride, you click on your app, and a driver comes and picks you up. Now, the decision that people will have is, well, how do you want to participate? And we say, find your joy. The neat thing is, this answers a lot of questions on this slide. There might be drivers out there who just want to drive for joyrides. And when you do, you'll get paid very similar, obviously, like you always have in other rideshare companies. And for those who don't know, drivers get paid based mainly on the miles that they drive and the minutes on each ride. And, there's a couple other intangibles. We're going to pay drivers just like that for the act of driving. We also have what's called a driver referral program, very exclusive to us, something that we're extremely proud of, that the way it came about is really cool. On one of our whiteboard collaborations, when Paul and Daryl and I were together early on. And then there's going to be people who, they're just going to support their friend. And instead of taking another company's ride share, they're going to take a joyride because their friend asked them to. And that's the beauty of this. As an independent marketing rep, you can get paid every time a driver drives or a passenger takes a ride. And it's as simple as asking them to download the app and take a ride. Everything we're doing here, Daryl, and I'll try to zip through most of the presentation, but I want to have your color commentary, because you've had so many great visions in when we've created this, of we're not asking any one of these people to get out of their comfort zone to either participate or build this business.
Yeah, it's true. I think we've really built something for everyone there, and also it's also where you're at today may not be where you're at a year from now. You may decide, hey, as a passenger, you know what? I think I'd like to become an IMR, or I'm a driver today, and maybe one day I'll become an IMR, or I'm an IMR and don't really want to become a driver, but later on, like, you know what? I like to drive anyway. You know, that's what I look at. Like, I don't know any drivers. That's a lot of people like, I don't know any drivers.
Right.
Just take some Ubers and Lyfts. You'll know lots of drivers. It's what I call it the elevator pitch. You've got a great audience in 20 minutes or so in your drive to talk to them. Every time I've done it, it's taken about 5 minutes and they get it. Driver says, hey, I'm in. Because again, you're not asking them to leave something. You're just asking them to add something on. And hopefully through the driver referral program, things like that, they will become more and more loyal to us. That's the goal. And that's what it is. And again, IMRs, you know, it's built again for people that have either lots of different ways. I've never done direct sales. Great. I'm in direct sales now. Great. You know, love whatever you're supporting, whatever you're doing. This is something you can add on to that. That's our belief. We're trying to build something different than it's ever been done before in this sector. You know, that we will respect wherever you're at, what you're doing in direct sales. This is something you can add on to it. You know, where if you're going to their convention, going to their meetings, going to pick up product or whatever, you can just add joy onto it, and that's really what we're looking to do here. So, you know, these things are what it is: be a driver, be a passenger, be an IMR.
We really feel like we've brought several, I guess, genres of the world together in what we're referring to as the collaborative economy. And you got social sharing out there, the gig economy, you have one of the side hustle, whether it's direct selling. The collaborative economy is defined as a peer-to-peer economy, and really the rideshare world has gone to the forefront of that. And in addition to things like Airbnb, you know, the peer-to-peer economy is literally just as it sounds, where there's not a middleman necessarily, that it can be skills swapping, alternate forms of payment, whether it be a cryptocurrency or maybe just Venmo, right? There's so many things out there that people are doing in their side hustle to make extra money. And we feel there is a true collaboration between the driver, the passenger, and the rep. And we're really excited about that. So Dee, we'll move on and show people how this works. We're really excited that we have two separate and unique compensation plans. Our driver referral program is literally just for drivers who want to get paid in addition to the act of driving, right? I've already explained that, on just referring other drivers who drive for Joyrides. And then there's our independent marketing reps compensation plan, where people can get paid for referring both drivers and passengers. You know, one little note that on the driver referral program, drivers are just getting paid to refer drivers. They're not getting paid when there's commissions on passengers. You need to be a rep to do that. You know, I had this discussion with some people today, and they were like, thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, that we as a company, from the moment we made the decision to go down this path and create this company, it was going to be about the drivers. The drivers out there have been underpaid and underappreciated for far too long, quite frankly. And so we've built a company that is about the driver, built for the drivers and by the drivers. And everyone who's, we've done a lot of focus groups with drivers, Daryl, and they're all very appreciative. To become a driver with Joyrides is a $29 application fee. And, you know, just this is something that is new to a lot of drivers, because the two big ones out there, Uber and Lyft, they don't charge for an onboarding or application. With us as a new company, we kind of like the idea of somebody having a little skin in the game and really taking pride in being a part of this. And in addition, I mean, we're always a transparent company. This is going to help us as a young company with the onboarding of motor vehicle records and criminal background checks, because it's extremely expensive by state, by county, by city. Everywhere around the country, it's different. And so, Daryl, I know that every driver you and I've talked to doesn't even bat an eye at this when they see the compensation and how they can get paid by leveraging time. And that's what, you know, I told these guys this morning, there's nothing better than getting paid when you're nowhere to be found.
Yeah, it's true, Brian. And that's an annual fee, that $29. And that's for an extensive background check. As Brian said, motor vehicle registration, all those things in there is what that's for. So that's a annual fee for the drivers. And again, if you're an IMR and you want to become a driver, then you sign up as an IMR, and you can also sign up as a driver. So that's available to you as a driver. I mean, as an IMR too, that you can become a driver but everyone has to pay the $29.
Yeah, on that page that showed all three, the driver, the passenger, and the IMR, I meant to say that drivers never have to be IMRs. They can just drive. IMRs never have to drive. They can just be IMRs. Passengers can just be passengers. But there's going to be a lot of people who choose to be all three, and a lot of them will be two of the three at least, right? Yes. So we're going to give you just kind of a basic overview of how the driver referral program works. And we'll use Joe here as an example. So Joe's a current driver. He decides he wants to drive for Joy Rides, and he just refers a few other drivers that he knows. Hey, there's a new company. I'm going to drive for them. Why don't you come drive for them too? It'll be as simple as those 5 drivers that you see that are personal referrals to Joe. When they download the Joy Rides driver app, they'll put in Joe's either his J number, which is an account number, or his cell phone number, and then they'll be linked to him, and then so on and so forth as those drivers are referring others. And the example I gave some of the drivers I spoke with this morning, Daryl, is those 5 guys or ladies that Joe has referred. Do you think they're going to refer others so that Joe makes money? No, they want to get paid on the driver referral program as well. And that's what makes this really clean and simple, is that people are going to here pretty soon love the idea of everybody kind of in a synergistic way, knowing that they're helping each other. But at the end of the day, they're referring people so they can get paid. And so the question always is, well, how does the payment work on the DRP, the driver referral program? Whenever a ride transaction takes place, when a ride occurs, right, from point A to point B and comes to a stop, there's a CRV that we apply to it. CRV stands for commissionable ride value. And of that fare, the fare being that what the customer just paid for that ride, there's portions that get paid out to the driver for just driving, right? But on each of those, there's a CRV, and the drivers get a percentage of that CRV, as do the reps, right? Because they're helping us market the company. But these drivers, you can see, it can be pretty lucrative over time. And I'm going to show you an example. So let's remember Joe, the example of Joe who shared this with 5 drivers. You see there on the top of that grid on the left, it says the drivers referred by the driver. So if Joe, who you saw in the graphic, referred those 5 drivers that you saw, and let's just say Joe, he currently drives, 60, 70 times a week. I talked to one of the drivers this morning. He says he drives, 80 to 100 times a week. And I said, okay, well, let's be conservative and just talk about 50 rides. And, most drivers will tell you that a full day is about 20. Part-timers will do about 10 to 15 in a day. So this is a really conservative number. Well, through those 3 levels, if you see the referral levels on the left, it says there's Joe's 5 that he referred. And if those 5 just went and did the same thing, Joe is going to earn a commission on 3 levels of growth. And if you look over to the right, there's that 10%, 2%, and 5% that you see from what I showed you on the other page. Now look back over to the left in green where it says average CRV per ride. In this scenario, we're using $1 as the CRV for this ride or these rides, right? That's kind of a good basis point if you want to try to figure out. Certainly the math's easier, Daryl, right? 10 cents, 2 cents, 5 cents. But what's amazing is when I said I love the idea of getting paid when I'm nowhere to be found, right? True passive income is getting paid when you're sleeping. Well, here's just a very conservative example of $362 a week. Now, in a month, that's over $1,400. And what's great about it is it's what you've said all along, Daryl. We're not asking anybody to get out of their comfort zone. In this example, Joe was already driving his 50 plus rides per week, right? And what did he do? He referred 5 drivers and had them go do the same thing. And we pay our commissions every single Friday. Our weeks, our qualification periods are Monday through Sunday. And so the following Friday, these checks, or not paid in checks, this money will be downloaded basically to their account, right? And when drivers realize, so I can get paid when I'm not driving, it really hits home, Daryl. And this is where we're so excited about what makes us different for the driver.
Yeah, this is the really cool, impactful part here. And I want to go back and just kind of, I go through it again. Like, let's say Brian is the IMR. And I know most people in this group are IMRs looking to become an IMR. Under this scenario, let's say Brian is the IMR and I'm the driver, okay? I'm Joe.
You're Joe.
I'm Joe. And I went out, what did I do? I'm a driver. I want to keep driving, but I referred 5 people. And through that, I made additional on top of the drives and time that I've spent as a driver. I made $362 that week. And so what's really cool about this, when you start seeing the other side of this, so Brian, the IMR, just sponsored me. He just got me as a driver. That's all I did. I just become a driver. I love driving. That's what I did. And I became a driver. When you take this part of it and start adding it to what Brian sees on his side as the IMR, is really start to change. And this really hit home for me. And I get it. We've been doing it for so long for us. I was talking to the guy the other day. He didn't know. All of a sudden, when it hit him, he's like, "Wait a minute. So if I'm the IMR, and this happens, what does it mean to me?" We will go through this here in a second.
Yeah,
it started to hit. That's when it started to click about this here. This is what makes it so different out there. Anything you've seen, especially in the direct sales space, is this part of it, because the driver, his leverage of what he's getting from this, but how it's also compensating for the IMR who referred the driver.
right. And we'll remember Joe's name as the one who started this driver referral group, right?
Yep.
So you mentioned IMRs, and again, what is exciting about this is the ability to get paid when drivers drive and riders take a ride, right? And you see one of our favorite phrases here: we think it's fair to share the fare. And as you can see, the fare is being shared with pretty much that whole collaboration of people. $329 is what it normally is to become an IMR, independent marketing rep. We are pre-launching with a special of $249. And this is I guess the thing that we love the most. Daryl mentioned the IMR being paid in addition to whether you're the driver who's an IMR or just an IMR. And where we really excited about this compensation is that it's going to pay, you see the word driver and passenger, it's going to pay two different lineages, right? And to the best of our knowledge, until the rideshare world, we don't know that that's really taking place in a direct selling company, that on this transaction, two different lineages, we've split the money to really make it a part of everybody. Everybody wins. So the first thing the computer is going to say when this car comes to a stop, it's gone from point A to point B, the ride is over, the ride is taking place, the transaction is completed. The computer is going to say, well, which IMR referred this driver? So the example Daryl gave you earlier, if I was the IMR and Daryl, who was Joe in that picture, was Joe the driver, then I would earn 10% of the CRV because of Joe's driving in this actual transaction. And the other neat thing about our compensation is there's a 4-level unilevel payout. And Daryl, I was sharing with some people that it might keep folks up at night and not be able to sleep when they start doing a little bit of math on those 5s and 8s and 10s, because our leadership gets paid as well. And we were excited years ago on getting paid on a utility that was paid once a month. And one of the drivers I talked to today drives, he does 100 plus rides in a week, right? So
yes.
You can start to do some math, and I really believe what I told them is, for the people who have a long-term vision and think beyond right here, and they think out in the distance, that when we're out of Dallas, Fort Worth, out of Texas, in multiple states and in other countries, you saw the statistics earlier on what Uber and Lyft are doing. We will never have to be that big for this to be very lucrative for a lot of people and a very strong company. And those 5 cents, 8 cents here and there will the magnitude of it will be huge. I'm going to click this button one more time, and I'll let you jump in after I bring it all up. Notice that when that comes to a stop, the computer says, well, who's the referring IMR of the passenger? So this whole lineage going from the passenger gets paid. And notice that that's 25% of the CRV. So if the CRV is $1 in this example, there's 25 cents. I'm going to have Daryl tell you, what was behind us wanting to put the most money in our ride transaction commissions into that passenger to the referring IMR. You'll see that when I talked about two different lineages getting paid, that beyond that 25%, everything else is the same in both lineages. And one thing, Daryl, before you talk about the theory behind what we're doing here, what's not being shown here, and we'll wait to more extensive compensation plan details, is that we're paying out a second generation and a third generation at the higher rank. That is unheard of in the industry, to be able to do that, when you start in a company. we're doing it both on commissions and on ride transaction bonuses. So just something to keep in the back of your mind that there's more than you're seeing here. But yeah, why don't you tell them, our theory when we got together about the 25%.
Yeah, I touch on that. I think it was important for us to see what's going on in the industry and direct sales and everything else. But we wanted someone out there that was truly in their comfort zone. Hey, all I want to do, and we see this all. I've seen this a lot of time in my career. They don't, they're not. Well, they said, "Well, I'm not a salesperson. I don't want to talk to people, but I like to refer the product, the service, whatever." And so we want to put the most amount of compensation at that level. That if someone want to go out there and just refer passengers to take a joyride, that they would get the highest possible earnings. And so that was important to us. A lot of times you see this where the most amount of money is paid to the top person who built it on so many levels, and it's not going to the person that did the work, the person that actually went out there. Not saying that everyone who participates is doing the work. That's what you're paid to do, is help. Everyone's helping together. But the person that initiated it is getting the highest reward here of 25%. So I go out and tell someone, hey, go out there and take a joyride. Me, the referrer of that person, who gets 25% of that CRV because I did that. And also to make sure, another point, I just want to make sure, sometimes I don't think about it, but like levels. If I sponsor Brian as an IMR, he'd be on my first level. If Brian sponsors Kevin, his brother, that would be on Brian's first level, be on my second level. And if Kevin introduced it to Sue, then it would be on my third level. Okay. And then if Sue introduced it to Becky would be on my fourth level. So that's how the levels kind of work there. If you're looking at that, for people who don't understand that, who are new to this, that's how levels work. And that's the kind of the unilevel aspect of what we're calling this. And then we'll show the leadership positions here in a second.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is again, commissions paid when a ride takes place. Best way to just break it down very simply. The business starts when a new IMR gets qualified by getting their fast start. Now, again, we're in pre-launch mode, so I want to make sure people don't think they got to go do this today. We are not live taking rides yet. We'll wrap up the webinar today and give you kind of our chronology of time that's going to take place. But just so you know, the simplicity of getting your fast start bonus qualified, we're basing things on a point system, and the points come from rides, as you can imagine. And when you start your business, you see up on that text that you need 30 personal qualified points, or PQPs, in your first 28 days. Well, notice on the left, it says a passenger's first ride is 5 points and a driver's first ride is 20 points. That's first ride for when you enroll them, right? You're the person, the IMR, who enrolled them by them downloading the app and putting in your information. That when that passenger takes that first joyride, or that driver takes his or her first joyride, then you're going to get points for that. And you can see how, just in this example, picking up 30 points would be rather simple to get your business started. Now, the neat thing about it is, notice it says that it needs to be from 3 unique drivers or passengers. That means that it can't just be one person who does a lot of rides. The example we have here is just a mix of a couple passengers and a driver, but those 3 unique passengers or drivers don't have to all be, when you're first getting started. You're going to share this with a lot of people, but if it happens rather quickly, that maybe the first person you talk to is a driver, and he or she has 20 drives, or their first drive rather quickly, which picks you up 20 points, and then they've already started their driver referral program and they have 2 other drivers, you can see that those 20s represent 3 unique, or 3 different people that will help you accumulate your fast start points. And Daryl, one thing for us to talk about here is, when people see this example, one of your unique individuals, as we're saying, can be you, right?
One of them.
If you're a driver and you sign up as an IMR, you get to count yourself as your driver, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, just if you're let's take a little bit further here. If you're an IMR and you're a driver, and more likely you're a passenger too, that you're just one unique. You can't be a unique driver and a passenger. So you can be one of them, but you can't be both of those in that scenario for that aspect of the compensation plan.
Right. So just knowing that, you can see again that getting your business started and earning that fast start bonus of $25 is just you doing what IMRs are doing for our company. Again, the name is Independent Marketing Rep. You're the marketing arm for this company to get the word around the country. And then as you share the business with other people who'd like to start their own business, obviously the gig economy, people are finding multiple ways to earn income out there. When you help people get started in business, as long as you help them trigger their fast start in their first 28 days, you earn a $75 business builder bonus. So you can see that those bonuses, now these are one-time ride transaction bonuses paid to you for helping someone else get started, right? After you do the same. And so it's money that helps you get moving while you're out building a team of people or out accumulating passengers and drivers. Again, Daryl, we'll do a deep dive on people understanding this, but I like people to get just a quick peek at the fact that you start off as a rep, and then we have 4 leadership positions that people can rank advance to by doing what? Ultimately, getting more passengers and drivers. That's what your role is for our company. Those bonuses that we showed you when you are actually out finding other people who want to earn income, well, if you're one who likes to build a team, then you have the ability to teach and train others to build a business and be compensated for helping them, right? Nothing better than mentoring others, but it's nice to get compensated for doing so. You notice the term open line on the left. This is a really important thing to understand. I know there's people who've probably been in coded comp plans or binary comp plans. Every comp plan out there has its warts, and you can pick them all apart. We feel we've put together the best of the best. And with an open line, you have the ability to earn by helping others. And when somebody rank advances, instead of having to leave them behind, right, like in a coded comp plan, or make things even through a binary, in an open line, when you rank advance, you don't have to start all over again. You actually can begin getting paid more for what you've already started, right? So Daryl, when it says, let's just use regional director for an example, it says an additional 25. If somebody has a huge organization that's got a lot of growth and they're an area director and they promote to regional director, instead of having to then just start all over again, they get to unlock more money on what's already taking place going forward, right? That's a good way that's helped people see it. You just unlock more on what you've already built and what happens from that day forward. You're not starting all over again with a whole new group of people. You get to bring those people with you, if that's another good visual.
Well, yeah, it's a great point. And I think the other point that really hit home for me, because that's the first time I've looked into this open line, is, from where I come from, like, well, I'll wait, until I put my best people in as I reach these higher codes. That's not this one at all. This is where you want to put your best people in day one, because you'll unlock every time that you rank up those people. As they move up, you're moving up, and you're unlocking it every single time. So that idea of holding off somebody is taken out here.
Yeah, you're not penalized for bringing everybody all at once. You want to build strong and fast.
Yeah, yeah. I know, Brian, I just because of our history here, we used to do this with electricity back in the early 2000s. And, I know this is how important this money, because this is what got you going, because you didn't see a return on your monthly, the residual aspect of it, because it was 90, 120 days, and it was very small at the very beginning. With us, the residual side kicks in very fast, because as soon as you sign up, take a driver, passenger, as soon as they take a ride, you're getting paid on that. But so this is a great aspect that we've continued to have here. When you help somebody, because this is kind of your job as a leader out there, to guide someone, help them get off to a great start. It's very simple. Hey, what do? Go out there and find some passengers and drivers who go out there and provide drives for people with 2 joyrides and trigger the money and get paid like this. But the residual side is kicking at the same time as you're helping these people get off to a great start. And so it also, we didn't want to have like 8 or 12 different, leadership positions. We'll have some more out there. We've already been talking long term. I mean, believe me, we didn't think short term. We've talked long term. Like, what do we look like a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? But we also wanted people like, man, I'll never get there. I'll never reach that level. So that's why we want to start off at the morning of these 4 positions that people are attainable, people can get there and get off to a great start. Again, these are paid weekly. If someone goes out there and hits their fast start, gets off to a great start, they get their $25, and because you helped them get off to a great start, you can get paid from $25 up to $100, depending on where you fall in this line.
Yes, that's great. And beyond the weekly thing, on the bonuses, Daryl, you mentioned we have no washout check the next month. Our ride commissions and our ride transaction bonuses all paid every single Friday. So there's no having to wait a long time for your money, which is nice.
Right.
Our virtual office, very quickly, this is, as it's called, the virtual office. I mean, this will help you run your business. The dashboard is amazing. Your website's amazing. And the Zoom account, we're on a Zoom right now, is great. So this first pre-launch period, again, we don't do things by the month. Everything is by 4-week cycles. So the first billing cycle, we're only charging $9.95 for the dashboard, because obviously all the reports aren't up and running because we're not live yet for passengers, right? And so we did know that people are going to want to do Zooms to build their team. So we wanted to make this accessible to you. Just so you have an understanding, this Zoom account that you're receiving has about a $250 a month value.
How much?
That's a Zoom quote that not coming from Daryl and I. You're getting the ability to have a 500 participant video meeting. What we're doing here today is a webinar. If you did a meeting, you could literally have the pictures you see of Daryl and I. You could have every single person on there, getting to see their faces and communicate with each other. Great for prospecting to show somebody the business, and it's great for team meetings, whether if you do those weekly or whatever it might be. So we're really excited about the virtual office. Here's a look at your website. There's actually 3 different skins, as they call it. So every time you refresh, you're going to probably see a different look to the website, which is really fun. The dashboard, the home page, you'll see already has a lot going on, and those reports and all of the things that will be in your dashboard, if you've chosen the virtual office to pay the subscription, are immense. There'll be a time in the not too distant future where you'll probably have a report you can pull up, and Daryl, this is your favorite, where you might see all of the cars driving around that you're getting paid on in your organization. That'll be pretty cool to see.
Yeah. Hey, it's fine. For last time we did this, I guess they didn't have a lot of people on this call, I'm sure, have access to this now, and they can start looking at their teams and everything else. I would highly encourage you to go there and play around. There's things you can do in there. You can go in there and change your name to what you want to see the public when you go to your website. If you want to put your name up there, you can do that with there. So go back there, play around with it as you see it. Also make sure that you've registered your email address. We sent an email out today. You have to register. You get that when you register, when you sign up, you'll get of course, the notification on your smartphone, and then it'll ask you to verify your email address. So make sure you've done that, because if you don't, you're gonna lose communications from us. Like we just sent an email out today for everyone for this Zoom call. And so I know a lot of people didn't get it because their email has not been activated yet.
Yeah, I've got a note to remind everybody that at the end. Thank you, Dee. Real quick, we're just going to show you it's kind of exciting to see. This is an example of the Apple iOS and the Google Docs or the Google Play Store, where you will download the apps. Right now, this is what the Driver app looks like. We will be launching the Driver app probably within the next week and a half, 2 weeks. So I'll be looking for that. There'll be communications going out, on somewhat every few days to let you know. We are just about done with that, just fine-tuning some aesthetics. That's already up and running and working. Excited about that. So that is as simple as anything else you've ever done, whether you're an Android person or an Apple person. You'll just go to your App Store, and you'll pull down the app. The Joy Drive has a little bit different look, as you see the logo. But that's only going to be for the Driver app that it's different. Everything else is going to be the one on the left. That's our primary logo, Joy Rides. I'm really excited about that. Had some great feedback. Daryl, I don't know if everybody has even noticed when you look at it that the J looks like somebody driving a vehicle, right? The steering wheel and it's like the arrow in FedEx. Once you see it, you can't stop seeing it.
It took a year to get there. No, it was it's a great story. You've heard Brian talk about it one time. First time the guy put it up, it anyways doing the graphic designer, and came up with that. So it's a pretty amazing story.
Yeah, on one take, he wasn't trying to make the J look like a driver. It was just a font style. So
we can thank Beth Lucia for the little smiley faces.
Yes, the lovely and talented had the suggestion for the smiles. Yeah, it's great. All right, you mentioned the big thing about email verification. Just we think that our enrollment form is very intuitive and very simple. We've got great feedback from you guys. But just make sure when you're going out and sponsoring a new person, these are a couple of things that they'll need. Obviously, their mobile phone, because as soon as they type it in, that's the DNA, if you will, of a Joyride's rep and a driver is their mobile phone. You'll get a J number, which is your account number, but your mobile phone is really how we identify you.
I think we just lost Brian. He went out on me there. Hey, but you can see in there. So go to your sponsors link, the website. Okay, that's what. So if you're going with someone who wants to join your team, you'll send them to your sponsor website. Give them your mobile phone number for verification. They need their phone number to put in there. So they'll put their phone number in there. It'll verification back, and then they'll start to the process. So if you want to sponsor someone, send them the sponsor's website. That's where they'll sign up. After completing the enrollment, you'll receive a welcome email and the email verification. So it's a very simple process. We had a few things we've had to deal with. You've already probably seen the website already changed a few times, and so I lost the host here. We lost him, lost Lucia here, but I'll finish it up here as we talk. But it's a very simple process. But anything that comes up or find out something that hasn't worked correctly, like the Zoom account, things like that, send it to repsupport@joyrides.com, and we'll get on every day. We do a call in the afternoon, the entire team, and reviews every single modification change that we can do to improve, and that's what we're doing. So if you get anybody out there that that has something that comes along that they can't they have a problem with or anything, shoot us an email. Again, we'll change every day and get better, and so hopefully that will work. And listen, gang, we're a new company. All right, we'll get better. We'll improve. Uber and Lyft did the same thing. I promise you, the things that Uber and Lyft had today, they didn't have the first day they came into to Dallas-Fort Worth or Texas or wherever you live from. Also with that, IMRs can join from anywhere. Okay, they can join from anywhere in the United States as long as they have a social security number and meet the requirements. Drivers a little different. Drivers will only be the background checks. And you can see if you join from another state already as an IMR, it'll pop up, tells you, say, listen, we're not in your state at the moment. Let you know. So it's just a little warning. Hey, you can still join as an IMR, but lets you know where we're operating in right now. Drivers will only be taken from Texas when that opens up. Okay, so only drivers will come in from Texas. And understand, when we open up in Texas, we'll open up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. There's Lucia came back. So we'll open up. Yeah, you're back with me. You're all right. But we'll open up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, parts of it. Okay, we want to make sure we have a good service and reach out to and take care of the passengers as they come aboard. So we'll continue to work through that. But again, Uber and Lyft have lots of things. Okay, I've always compared this to a little bit of Southwest Airlines. They're based in Dallas-Fort Worth. They went to San Antonio, Austin, Houston, and then branched out. They did it by their attitude, by their culture, and that's what made that company so successful. And that's what a little bit of our kind of DNA comes from is having that same kind of attitude, being easy to work with. And hey, Uber and Lyft have lots of bells and whistles, but what they don't have a DRP. They don't have a compensation plan like ours. So yes, they'll have some things we don't have, but we'll have to work on it and get there. But some of it also we've got out there. We have Joy Bucks, Joy Cares, and they're really great programs that you, the IMR, can also help. If you want to help someone get off to a great start, we have Joy Bucks. That if you want to help someone out who's been a great passenger for you, or someone for the first time, you want to help them out, you can help them out. You can help take a little money off their own bill, or appreciate their loyalty for what they're doing out there. So we'll get started here real soon on the driver side of it. Be another few weeks, and working on the app side of it right now. So there we go. Brian, I have a few more slides you're going to work through here.
Yeah, I just want to just end the call with this, just to help people on a couple of steps that some have been missing. And sorry about that. I don't know why my internet got blasted. That's kind of crazy.
That's all right. I think you went on like let me get here.
So hey, well done on your tap dancing.
Oh no, it's all right. I can handle it. But yeah, a couple of things that I think that was some of our thoughts. I'm just kind of looking at some of the questions here. We won't go through all of them because for time's sake. But I think that was some of the idea about the $29 is, hey, it weeds out a few people because I've signed up for Uber and Lyft too. It's free. So the $29 is kind of a, hey, if you're really serious about this and you've met these requirements before you put your $29 in, that was part of it, kind of weed out a few people in that process to make sure, are you serious about really wanting to do this? And so look after a few of that. But I don't know. I've seen their policies about the people they take for their drivers and their passengers. And listen, in the day, the people that are driving our cars, the people that are the passengers in our cars are your friends and family. They're our friends and family, and we take that very seriously. And we've got big ambitions. We want to provide cameras in every car. That's what we wanted to do. That's what we want to do someday. Talked about having a beacon device possibly in these vehicles as well. So we're going to do everything we can to make sure that the passengers we service are well taken care of and safe and rewarding for everyone, rewarding for the driver. That's really where it's at, and also to the passengers and the IMR. So again, we're very passionate and very seriously about what we're doing and what it means. So we'll continue to get better as we go. So appreciate all those who have jumped on here as the founders and as we get started out there. And
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, in and out a little bit, but I still got you now.
Okay. Hey, I just real quick want to talk to everybody about their Zoom account. That we talked about verifying your email and check your spam and check the junk email or spam email for the validation or verification. The other thing is when you get into your virtual office to set up your Zoom, you'll need to go into here's the home page of your dashboard, and you can either click at the top on the menu that says virtual office or the little flyer at the bottom. And when you do, you'll see that it says you're subscribed to the virtual office. This act of clicking on either one of those will trigger your Zoom account. And then you'll get an email from Zoom. If you're a current Zoom account holder, they'll switch you over to your JoyRides account, which again will be much more substantial. If you've never had one, then they'll help you get it set up. So that's the neat thing about the Zoom is doing that. One other thing before we end, the compensation plan, the written compensation plan and the business presentation. The compensation plan could be up there later today, and the business presentation for you guys to be able to share on your own be up there probably Monday afternoon. So a lot of things going on, Daryl. I appreciate you manning the battleship when I had these internet issues. I'm not sure why that's happening. I'm looking like I have full Wi-Fi. I think sabotage from the street.
No, it's great. Hey, and again, we've worked on a lot of things this week. I mean, we've come a long way just from Monday. Even the mobile, the responsiveness to your mobile site. The first day we're out, it looks a lot better than it did. So if you had any issues about enrolling on your phone or anything like that, or what it looks like, I know every day we're continue to make improvements, and we'll make some more improvements on today. So I appreciate everyone's first week. It's so exciting. It really is to see people talk about JoyRides and the passion behind it, what we're doing out here. It's going to be a great journey. It's going to be a roller coaster ride. There's going to be some ups and downs, but it's going to be thrilling and it's going to be fun. That's really, I love what Brian came up with about JoyRides. The idea at the end of the day was, our world really is, if you look out there, man, it's scary right now, especially right now. And we just wanted to add a little joy to people's lives that if we can create a culture, and I think that's really the important part, is create a great culture. And going back to Southwest Airlines, but this is our JoyRides culture, and you can share a smile, a little joy with somebody every single day. That changes the game. And I know it seems like a small thing, but it's not. It's not. If you can take care of someone and put a little smile on their face and bring a little joy to their heart, whether or not through any means through JoyRides, that's what will change the game with this thing. So that's what I love about the name, and hope you guys taking pride in it and what we're doing here. And thanks for being part of this company. And it's your company. Brian and I, we're just stewards we work for you guys, and it's a great corporate team. I know they're fired up about what's going on, and we'll continue to improve every single day. So Brian, I'll let you finish it.
Yeah, well, thanks. Hopefully my internet's strong enough to close it out. Just wanted to tell everybody thank you for being a part of this. We'll continue to do business overviews next week. Several of these. This recording will get you through the weekend. Daryl and I and the team are truly there for you. And this company was built, as Daryl said, about can we make an impact on other people's lives? And it's so much more than going a driver or a passenger going from point A to point B. It's the experience. It's not just the experience of the ride, but what are we doing? I mentioned about Joy Cares. We'll get into that more with you guys in the future and help you understand our charitable initiative and what we want to do with our foundation with Joy Cares. But that's just really the essence essence of what can we do every day to impact people's lives in a positive way. And I think that when you take that approach, and it is as simple as, can you make them smile? That's the difference maker. Well, Daryl, my internet keeps saying it's unstable. Not sure why I'm showing full bars, but I better wrap it up. I know we're on the lunch break for a lot of people. Thank you for joining us live. For those of you who watch this on the recording, continue to share the joy. Remember to like us and comment at Joyrides on Facebook, Instagram, right? 2 words, Joyrides, 2 words on Facebook, 1 word on Instagram, and we are Joyride Nation on Twitter. There is a special Joyrides Reps Facebook group. Want to make sure you guys understand there's a lot of people that are kind of sitting in queue. We've begun to transition that from a place for people to go find out about our company to a place just for reps who've already joined. So there is a to get into that group, you need to provide your J number. So don't just start shoving prospects there. You can take them to your website, and we'll continue to add more content on the other forward-facing social media pages. Until then, I hope you guys have a great weekend and continue to share the joy. Thanks, everybody.